Welcome to a yin yoga practice. I just want to, before we begin, let you know as a viewer that in these frames, I have the ability to freeze them. So if you're pregnant, I wouldn't advise what I'm doing today because I'm going to get into this shape, but I'm going to come out of it because I'm 36 weeks pregnant and laying on the back isn't so comfortable. But I'm going to provide guidance for those of you without a baby in your body. And what you'll need today in terms of props is either a block. I have two blocks just in case, and a pillow. So make sure it's a sturdy pillow or it can be a bolster. So feel free to freeze, pause, and grab your stuff. We're going to start in a seated posture on the ground, sitting on something. So I'm going to sit on my block. And you're going to come into an easy cross-legged position. Sitting on something is just more comfortable because it helps to tilt your pelvic floor forward, bringing your knees lower than your hips. So as you adjust yourself to become comfortable, you can find any movement, any wiggles in the arms and the hands. You could take a few shoulder rolls or neck rolls. You'll eventually make your way so that your palms face down. And as you sit up tall, you'll either close your eyes or set your gaze to the floor. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. It can be in through the nose and out through the mouth a few times, or maybe you right away come into the Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through your nose only. Join your palms together at your heart center. And we'll begin with a cleansing breath. Take an inhale through your nose and open up the mouth. Exhale all the breath. As you'll flutter the eyes open and release your hands, you're going to open up your feet a little bit to create some space, but you still want to find ease in this shape. And then you're going to come to lean forward and press your hands into your inner thighs. Space between your top and bottom teeth. Now go ahead and come to sit upright. This is where a block or a bolster or an alternative prop could be helpful. It just brings the ground closer to you. You're going to come to lean forward. And as you'll find roundness in your upper back, you can let your chin fall towards your chest. My book club on the yoga mat comes from A New Earth from Eckhart Tolle. In it, he speaks how many poets and sages throughout the time have observed that true happiness, which Eckhart Tolle he calls the joy of being, is found in simple, seemingly unremarkable things. He writes most people in their restless search for something significant to happen to them continuously miss the insignificant, which may not be insignificant at all. There's a philosopher's name who I can't pronounce, but they wrote in a rare moment of deep stillness, for happiness, how little suffices for happiness. The least thing precisely, the gentlest thing, the lightest thing, a lizard's rustling, a breath, a wink, an eye glance, little maketh up the best happiness. Be still. Today's intention is to help you experience the joy of being, to be aware of little quiet things. You need to be quiet inside. A high degree of alertness, it is required. Be still. Look, listen, be present. Go ahead and slowly come to sit all the way up. You can move your prop. Maybe you don't need one and you're able to fold forward. You're going to adjust so that your other leg is in front. And once again, you're going to open up your feet to create some space. And as you lean forward, you'll press your hands to your inner thighs. And it's all right if your shoulders shrug up to reach the ears. And go ahead and come all the way up to stack shoulders over hips. Option to grab a hold of your prop to set it before you. And then come forward and down. As you breathe in, inhale to the count of 5. Pause for a count of 1, then exhale to a count of 5. Inhale to a count of 5. Pause for a count of 1. Then exhale to the count of 5. Pause for the count of 1. Continue to do this for at least 10 repetitions. And then rest in the silence of the inner space for the remainder of the time that you're in this pose. Go ahead and slowly come out of this. Moving your prop, extend your legs in front of you. Massage in the legs. And then you're going to come onto your hands and your knees. If you have 2 blocks like you may use them. You don't need them. As you come onto all fours, option to take your blocks and rest them underneath your hands. Otherwise, your wrists are underneath your shoulders onto the ground. We'll all fan out our fingers. Knees underneath the hips. A few rounds of cat-cow. Dip the navel, lift your chest, tailbone scoops up. Chin to chest, round in the spine, press away. Dip the navel, inhale, a smile-shaped spine. Chin to chest, you'll arch in the back. Go ahead and take that on your own. Now, as you come back into tabletop, 2 options. Either narrow knee child's pose, thighs come together. You'd sit back to your heels. This is a little bit harder for me these days. Your forehead would come to the ground and your arms reach back towards your heels. I've got to use this with blocks just to show you if I was able to put my forehead onto the ground, I'd be like so. but you're still more than welcome to use a block. You probably wouldn't go this high to rest your forehead to bring the ground closer to you. There is alternatively always wide-legged child's pose. Knees out wide, big toes touch, hips to heels. And here too, your forehead can come to ground, or you can rest your forehead to block. So your choice, narrow knee child's pose or traditional wide. A way to help you become conscious of being conscious is to say or think, I am, and add nothing to it. To be aware of the stillness that follows the I am. It will help you to sense your presence, the naked, unveiled, unclothed beingness. Say or mentally repeat the syllables I am on the inhale. I am on the exhale. Taking a long, deep breath through the nose, breathe in, I am. Exhaling slowly through the nose, breathe out, I am. Keep repeating I am until the words disappear. You're going to come out of this shape. So if you're in narrow knee child's pose, your hands will come underneath the shoulders. You'll come to rise up to all fours. In tabletop, wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. Rock your hips side to side, left to right. We're going to come into the active posture of downward facing dog. So fan out your fingers, tuck in your toes, lift your hip creases up and back into an inverted upside down V. Now pedal out your feet. Find some fluidity in this shape. Now you're going to look forward to your hands and begin to walk your feet forward. Now your feet come kind of directly behind your wrists. Feet are hip distance or wide enough that is comfortable for your own body. Now taking a hold of the blocks, this is just an option. You can stack them on top of one another, bending in the knees. You can rest your forearms on them like so, and rest your forehead onto your forearms. If you don't have any blocks at home, you can just hang in ragdoll, letting your arms drape to the floor, bringing your hands to opposite elbows. The intention is to allow your torso to be heavy. A slight bend in the knees, sit bones are up. So you'll find your ragdoll variation that works for you in this moment. And breathe conscious breaths. Now, if your forehead's on blocks like mine, you'll lift your head. You can release your hands for those in traditional ragdoll. For those with blocks, you'll move them out of the way. Bend your knees. Come onto your hands and knees, all fours. And then you're going to come to sit all the way up. Turning your weight to a side, you'll swing your legs forward in front of you. Now, if you have a block, you'll want to grab a hold of it. Maybe you have a bolster at home or a pillow you're using as a substitute for your block. You'll want that nearby. You're going to come to scoot forward and lie all the way down onto your back. Now, as you lower down, let the soles of your feet come to the floor. Take a hold of your block, your bolster, your pillow. You're going to lift your hips. And now if you're using a block like it's going to be in its flattest setting. You're going to lift your hips and slide this underneath. Now, if you have a bolster, you might want to get into this shape by sitting all the way up. And then you can sit on your bolster and slide back because it might be a little bit higher than, say, this block. So you'll find your transition that works, in which you're settling your prop more so to sit on. So not in the low back, we're not doing a supported bridge. And you'll find yourself needing to adjust to make this work for you. You're going to hug your right knee into your chest, and then you're going to interlace. I'm having difficulty here, but I'll come into this shape with you to show you. You're going to interlace your fingers around your right knee. You can always use a strap behind your thigh, a scarf, whatever you have, a towel. You're going to extend your left leg long onto the ground. And you'll slightly tuck your chin in towards the chest so there's length in your neck. A Zen master was walking in silence with one of his disciples along a mountain trail. When they came to an ancient cedar tree, they sat down under it for a simple meal of some rice and some vegetables. After the meal, the disciple, a young monk who had not yet found the key to the mystery of Zen, broke the silence by asking the master, "Master, how do I enter Zen?" He was, of course, inquiring how to enter the state of consciousness, which is Zen. The master remained silent. Almost 5 minutes passed, while this disciple anxiously waited for an answer. He was about to ask another question when the master suddenly spoke. "Do you hear the sound of that mountain stream?" The disciple had not been aware of any mountain stream. He had been too busy thinking about the meaning of Zen. Now, as he began to listen for the sound, his noisy mind subsided. At first, he heard nothing. Then his thinking gave way to heightened alertness. And suddenly he did hear the hardly perceptible murmur of a small stream in the far distance. "Yes, I can hear it now," he said. The master raised his finger, and with a look in his eyes that in some way was both fierce and gentle, said, "Enter Zen from there." The disciple was stunned. It was his first satori, a flash of enlightenment. He knew what Zen was without knowing what it was that he knew. They continued on their journey in silence. The disciple was amazed at the aliveness of the world around him. He experienced everything as if for the first time. Gradually, however, he started thinking again. The alert stillness became covered up again by mental noise. And before long, he had another question. "Master," he said, "I've been thinking. What would you have said if I hadn't been able to hear the mountain stream?" Then Zen Master, he stopped, looked at him, raised his finger and said, "Enter Zen from there." Enter Zen from there. Find the release of the right leg. Extend it long to meet your left, and then reach both arms behind you so you're in a full body stretch. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Now plant the soles of your feet to ground. Rest your arms by your sides. Bring your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg long. Slight tuck of your chin towards your chest to keep your neck neutral to your spine. This practice of yoga, it's intended to help you experience a sense of well-being, of alive peace, to notice this background sense of contentment that the ancient sages of India call the bliss of being. There's this common element in this practice of the encouragement to have the ability to see beauty, to appreciate simple things, to enjoy your own company. And this sense of contentment, peace, aliveness, it's the invisible background. Release your left leg long to meet your right. Reach your arms back in a full body stretch. Take a full breath in and an open mouth breath out. Come to plant the soles of your feet to floor and rest your arms down by your side body. Press into your feet and remove your prop from underneath you. And as you lower all the way down, you're going to come back into a full body stretch. And you're going to walk your feet to the bottom right corner of your mat. You're going to shift your upper body as well to the right corner. And with your left ankle, cross it on top of your right. Your legs remain straight. You just brought your left ankle on top of your right ankle. And you can keep your arms extended back, or you can bring your hands towards the opposite elbows. You're opening up the left side of your body. This week, whenever there is beauty, kindness, the recognition of goodness of simple things in your life, look for the background to that experience within yourself. But don't look for it as if you're looking for something. You can't pin it down and say, now I have it, or grasp it mentally or define it in some way. It is like the cloudless sky. It has no form. It is space. It is stillness. The sweetness of being. And infinitely more than these words. And when you're able to sense it directly within yourself, it deepens. So when you appreciate something simple, a sound, a sight, a touch, when you see beauty, when you feel loving kindness towards another, sense the inner spaciousness that is the source and background to that experience. And cross your ankles, walk your feet to center, shift your upper body a full stretch. And then the other side, legs over to left, upper body to left. Cross your right ankle on top of the left ankle. An option to keep your arms as they are. Bring your hands towards the opposite elbows, opening up the right side of your body. Many poets and sages throughout the ages have observed that true happiness, which is the joy of being, is found in simple, seemingly unremarkable things. As you'll uncross in your ankles and shift everything back to the center of your mat in a full body stretch. Take a full inhale and an open mouth exhale. Press the soles of your feet to floor and then roll to a side into a fetal position. Use your top hand to press into the floor and lift yourself all the way up into a comfortable seat. You might choose to sit on a block as we had began with. To allow yourself to adjust, to become comfortable. Let your palms come to face down. Sit up tall and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Visualize either a pink or green heart-shaped gem over the region of your heart. Focus your awareness on this radiant gem and feel its rays of love bringing warmth to the region heart, gradually filling every cell of your being with that love. Bring your hands to your heart. Take an inhale to sit up tall. As you exhale, bring your chin to your chest and rest in this space in a moment of gratitude. From my heart and my babies to yours. We'll lift our heads to bring thumbs to forehead and bow together and say, Namaste.